All right. So, hello, beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. Today, we are looking at some snow picked teas. And I'm just going to show you what you can see on your screen right now is you can see what it looks like when the tea plants are getting ready to produce some of this beautiful, amazing, spectacular snow picked tea stuff. Now, right, so snow picked teas. You're looking at the rarest of the rare teas. I mean, these are the equivalent of ice wine. So I'm sure you guys have heard of ice wine before. But the basics of ice wine are simply that the grapes are basically frozen on the tea tree, or sorry, on the vine, and then they lose a little bit of their water, but they also get concentrated sweetness. And as you can see, I'm a little bit slow right now. I need to drink some tea. So what we've got is I just got in some of this beautiful tea. I spent a bunch of money on it, and I spent, I guess, I won't tell you how much I spent on it, but I spent a lot of money on it. I spent a lot of money on this tea, and the reason I spend a lot of money on this tea is because I absolutely adore it, and it's extremely rare. And it's one of those teas that you just don't get all the time. You don't get it all the time. You don't see it all the time. And it's an extremely rare tea, but it's also an extremely fascinating tea in the sense that what the tea does, you can see I'm sharing the screen down here. I'm also doing this on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram. And what I'll show you here is this right here. What makes it so special is when you're actually drinking the tea, you can see that there is this beautiful green. And let's take a look at the leaves. So I'm going to stop sharing this over here, and I'm going to show you a close-up of these leaves. Now, yeah, you should be able to see it. You can see what's going on there. And what you're looking at when you're looking at these leaves is you're looking at this amazing green color. And I think you can see it. Yeah, you can see that green color. It's a bright green. Now, usually, so today I whipped out my my glass brewing utensils here. Now, I don't use this very often because it burns my fingers. It sucks. It burns my fingers quite badly, actually. And so I never use it. But with this tea, I want to show you guys just how beautiful and bright yellow this thing gets. But again, what are we looking at when we're looking at snow teas? We're looking at teas that are created. I think this is hot enough. I brewed it up earlier. Oh, there we go. Sorry, there's going to be a little bit of noise while it brews up a bit better. But you're looking at a tea that is absolutely unique. In the same way that a high mountain oolong would be like a red wine or a white wine, snow-picked teas from the high elevations, right? We're not talking about the lower elevation stuff, and we'll get into that in a minute, the differences between the elevations. When you're looking at one of these teas from the higher elevations, you're getting a tea that's as different between, like a high mountain oolong would be a normal Merlot, for lack of a better word, just a normal red wine. But then you're getting this ice wine, right? The snow-picked tea is the equivalent to the ice wine. Now, a lot of people, they will not like the ice wines. They will not disagree that the ice wines are something different and spectacular. And they won't say, oh, if you only drink... I'm not a wine person anyways. The point is, ice wines are different, right? And there's a lot of connotations that go around with it and all those different types of things. But they're different. Same thing with the high mountain snow-picked teas. Now, what makes it that way? Well, starting this live stream, and I'll go back and I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but starting this live stream, I showed you what happens with the snow. Now, that garden that I just showed there is actually not this garden. This garden is, what's the best way to describe it? This garden is, this is the Pear Mountain Garden. right? So I didn't actually get pictures from that. I wish I'd gone up to see it at the same time driving up in Taiwanese mountains. That's not something that I particularly want to do when it snows. I've done it a couple times and it's absolutely terrifying. But right away, you can already start to see this beautiful bright green color. Yeah, it's coming out. This really, really beautiful bright green color that's coming out of that. And that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bright green color is what makes the Snow Peak teas so special. I mean, not only, obviously, not only the green color, it's a lot of the things involved. But I'm going to show you as well, I'm going to show you what the actual leaves look like when they're picked. And we're going to get into it and we'll talk about, you know, all the different things about this beautiful tea. Now, when you're looking at Snow Peak teas, let's talk about elevation for a moment. There are certain areas of Taiwan, say in the southeast of Taiwan, for example, in the Luyi or the Taidang area. That area, their picking season is not in the summertime or even really in the springtime. It's the exact opposite of the rest of Taiwan. So the best teas are actually picked right now because it's so hot and the summertimes are so hot and so dry that the tea plants barely survive. Now, when they do a tea in January, it's a really good tea, but it's the equivalent of doing a tea in June for the rest of the island, right? Because of the geography, low elevation, hot, south, sort of like that. Now, when you're looking at the high elevations, you are looking at tea trees right now that are, some of them, you know, are regularly covered in snow. Well, at least 3 or 4 times a year, right? Especially at the 2,000 meter mark, they're covered in snow. And they're dormant. They're absolutely dormant, right? So those are the two big differences, right? You've got the higher elevation stuff and then the lower elevation stuff. The lower elevation stuff is just going. Actually, I was at the Nianhuo Dajie, which is this quite a lot of fun. It's the equivalent of a Christmas market, but for the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. I was out there yesterday. I was trying some of this Dongpian for the lower elevation stuff, and the lower elevation stuff is really, really nice, but it's not all that special. Now, the higher elevation stuff, you don't get it every year. And the reason you don't get it every year is because the weather has to be perfect for it to happen. Now, take a look at that bright yellow color there. You don't get that bright yellow color from mini teas. Right? You just don't get it. And I will get into the flavor profile first. I got to drink some. This is the first time I've had it all year. It's just, it's such a unique, it's a love it or leave it tea. It's a love it or leave it tea, but it's so unique and so beautiful. And very, very expensive. But we'll get into why that is in a second. So the higher elevation stuff doesn't get produced every year. Okay, why does it get produced? Well, first you need a blast of cold. So the tea trees just go straight to sleep. But then you need the temperature to go right back up relatively fast and stay there for a couple weeks, which is exactly what happened this year. Exactly what happened this year. So around just before Christmas, just before Christmas there was this blast of cold. There was snow. Hey man, how's it going? There was snow and ice and all that different type of stuff, right? So I showed you the picture. I'll show you another picture here. And then in the YouTube, I'll show you some more pictures as well. And what happened was there was this blast, an absolute blast of ice and cold, right? So an absolute blast of ice and cold. And that blast of ice and cold really did create, you know, tea plants that were doing things like this, right? Oh, this year's 2023, the first teas of 2023, the Snow Peak teas. And they were picked last week, and I got them in, and I'm so, well, anyways, it's just the first steep. We'll get into it, but these ones you can steep about 10 times. They just steep forever and ever and ever. So what happened was the tea plants got this blast of cold and ice and snow. And then, boom, it got warm, like really warm, like almost springtime warm. It got so warm. And then the plants are like, okay, we've got this pocket of opportunity in the high elevation, right? We got this pocket of opportunity. And then boom, they jumped up and they started producing the teas, right? So you're looking here, you can see in the YouTube down here, you can sort of see how what it looks like. Here's another picture in the YouTube I'm showing here where the whole place is covered in frost, ice, snow. This is in Nanhu. I'm hoping to get I'm hoping I will get the samples for this coming in very soon. And here, I want to just show you what the sort of the leaves look like. In a minute, I'm going to be taking out the leaves in here, but I just want to show you quickly what the leaves actually look like. And as you can imagine, right, we've talked about what happens with the leaves in the different seasons, right? We talked about that. Now, what happens in the wintertime season, of course, is the leaves are insanely thick. They are insanely strong. They are absolutely nothing like you get at any time of the year, right? So again, just a quick recap. In the springtime, the bottom's thick, and then the bottom's thick, and then the topper parts are less thick, right? So they go fast and they're more tender. So you get both. That's why people like the springtime, because you get both sort of flavors. In the summertime or in the springtime, you're just getting fast growth, so it's tender all the way through, right? Which can also bring in some vegetal, some harsher flavors. The wintertime, it's usually grows up a little bit, but the leaves are thicker because it's colder weather. And then the snow pig teas are what you're looking at on your screen right now. The snow pig teas are thick, and they are small, and they are like just little tiny bits, like here, like like this, right? And I'll see if you can sort of see it here. Well, anyways, I'll show you later when I take this off, when I stop sharing this. Here's a picture of what it looks like. There is a new growth that comes up, and yeah, I'm in YouTube, so you can jump into YouTube as well. And this new growth sort of pops up. There's like a little bit of a bud, and then boom, 2 new fresh growths come up like that. And basically that's what you're looking at. And you're looking at a really thick, harsh stem. Thick, harsh stem. So what does that create? Well, it creates this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. You can sort of start seeing this color coming out. Hopefully you guys can see it, but it's such an amazing color. And it's a color that you would only ever get in the snow pig teas. Now, what's the flavor? The flavor characteristic of the snow pig teas is, I've described it so many different times. I've tried to describe it, but I always come back to cabbage flowers, right? So cabbage flowers. And you've got this, it's cabbage flowers, right? I mean, that's basically what it is. It's cabbage flowers, and it is, well, it's so hard to describe. No bitterness, no astringency, sweetness, but vegetal. And it's a vegetal floral. What I always call it is I always call it cabbage flowers, because that's kind of what it tastes like. It tastes like if you took a cabbage, like a high mountain cabbage, a sweet, thickly vegetal, one of those guys, and you turned it into a flower. That's the flavor of this tea, and it is so unique. It's so unique and extremely expensive. This is what I got, and it's kind of embarrassing because I didn't buy that much. You can sort of see like this much here. This is like, well over 500 US dollars for that. It's well over 500 US dollars for that. And so, I mean, what are you going to do? It is what it is. And it's a rare tea. And this year, the weather was perfect. The weather was perfect. And like I said, it's not every year you get this tea, right? Some years you just don't get it at all. It doesn't come in. It doesn't come in at all. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to sort of hold it up And I got it in the light. Yeah, you can sort of see, I guess. I don't know. That didn't work out too well. But you can sort of see what I'm talking about, right? In this beautiful, beautiful color that comes through. Now in a minute, I'm going to pull out the, oh, there we go. There's the color. I'm going to pull out, so take a look here, like that's the color, right? That's, well, anyways, from my end, I guess in the camera's not quite picking it up, but you can sort of get what I'm talking about. You can sort of get what I'm talking about. Well, Maggie, thank you very much. Yes, I do think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's so. You know, I do these taster sets with the Pear Mountain, so the 4 seasons, well, 3 seasons right now, but now it's 4 seasons, and people will often, you know, do the spring, be like, oh yeah, okay, the spring, and then, you know, the fall time is kind of similar to that, and then you go to the winter time, like, whoa, that's different, and then they'll try this tea, and they will absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. There is not very much middle ground. Oftentimes, people will say, I didn't get the wintertime tea, or sorry, the snow pig tea. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And that's a nice way of saying, I appreciate that it's special, but I didn't like it. Any update on the yellow tea? The yellow tea updates? Not really. I tried it, and I didn't actually ask for the price, because I was hoping that there would be a snow pig tea. And so what you're looking at when you're looking at the yellow tea was a tea where there's more steps added, but it tastes basically the same as the snow pig teas. So it basically tastes the same as the snow pig teas. And so I wasn't the biggest fan of the yellow tea, and I know the price point is very, very high. I didn't pull the trigger on the yellow tea, unfortunately. But who knows? I think in the springtime, the yellow tea would be a better deal. So here we go. This has been sitting for 17 minutes. And this is going to be an absolute blast of flavor. An absolute blast of snow-picked flavor. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you what the leaves look like. Oh. Last year, there was no snow pick. All right, let's see if I can get the light in there. Does it show it? I guess a little bit. No, it doesn't really show it. Anyways, super yellow, super beautiful, super sweet cabbage flower explosion. And last year we didn't get any. Last year there was none. And because the weather was not suited. The weather didn't cooperate enough so that we could get some snow pig teas. But this year it was produced. And up in Nanshan, in Nanhu Dashan, sort of the Nanhu. Yeah, I think I call it Nanhu, right? The Nanhu Eastern Beauty. Anyways, that same garden. I'm getting that sample in soon. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm repeating myself. But anyways, but this is this year's now. Take a look at, you should be able to see this. This is going to be easy to see. But the actual tea nuggets of the snow pig teas do not look anything like, nothing, right? They do not look anything like the other types of teas. Look at the size of that stem that sort of sticks out there, right? Look at the size of the stem. And again, just to give you an idea, it showed up pretty well with the beautiful bright yellow. I guess it works on the Instagram. It's a little more yellow on the YouTube here, and Facebook it's not quite as yellow. But anyways, the yellow is it's sort of the predominant color coming off of this, sort of a radioactive yellow in a positive way, not a negative connotation. You can see here just these huge stems in the little nuggets, and then when you actually take out the tea, here is your classic pick. Right? If you think, the wintertime tea is about this big, well, these guys are about this big. And so take a look at just how small this is and how tough these guys are, right? So this is a perfect example right here. So you can see it's like this. This is the pick, right? And you can actually see the yellow in there as well. but that's the pick. And it's just this tiny little pick. They got to use blades for this. You can't use your hands. Look at the thickness of this, right? This one, the leaves haven't even opened up yet after 17 minutes. But now you can see the edges of that tea as well. You can see the edges. Now the edges of that is the perfect example of cold weather tea. So cold weather tea, when you roll it and manipulate the teas, they break off on the edges. So the edges will look just like this with cold weather tea. And the edges will also look like that for low quality summertime tea, right? So low quality summertime tea, the teas will look exactly the same as that. And then high quality sort of cold weather teas will look like that as well. And so you can sort of see the similarities with the hard edges of the leaves. Now, why does that happen? Because the supple leaves of the other seasons, when they make tea more like springtime, the fall teas. Again, this is the high elevation stuff. The wintertime teas, the leaves are supple, and so you can roll them. But when the leaves are like this, when the leaves are like hard, thick, like for example, it's very, very easy to tell. What you could do is you could brew a bunch of leaves of the seasons, right? The sample set, for example, you could brew the leaves of the seasons. And the springtime, you'd be like, okay, springtime, fall time, you'd feel the leaves, you'd be like, oh, okay, I get that a little bit. Which time, oh, those are harder. And then over here, this is like sandpaper compared to the other seasons. Like sandpaper. It's so hard. It's so hard. You can sort of see here, right? Like it's just, it's very, very hard. It's not soft and supple. It's extremely, extremely hard leaves. And what that means is, well, a couple things. You can brew this stuff forever. You can brew this tea like 8, 9, 10 times. You can just brew it and brew it and brew it and brew it and brew it. It just never, ever, ever gives up the ghost. It doesn't stop producing beautiful flavors out of this tea. And but it also takes a while to get going. So the first couple of steeps are not going to be quite as strong. But 2023, I got to figure out a way to do this so that maybe I just got to stop wearing glasses. There's been times when I used to be an outdoor guide too. I'm worried about the light that gets in my glasses. I'm sure that's very annoying for many people, but I should fix that somehow. But there's many times when you're doing this stuff, right? Like where I'm just excited to have this tea back. Like I'm just. It's been 2 years since this tea has come back, and I'm just excited to have it back. I know that some people absolutely love this tea. They just absolutely adore this tea and this style of tea. And there's going to be a lot of people that are very happy to get this tea back. And it's not exactly 100% ready right now. It still needs about another week or a week and a half, 2 weeks before it's good, like really, really good. But if it takes that long to get across the world, so that's okay. That's no problem at all. It'll be ready by the time it gets to everybody's house. And we'll see how fast it sells. If it sells fast, then I'll buy some more. We'll see. See how fast it goes. But I love drinking snow picks with fresh cheese. That's heaven. Yeah, well, there is a very, very, very good pairing. Because sort of the thickness of the cheese will dampen the, what's the best way to describe it? It will prolong the beautiful, soft, subtle flavors of the tea with cheese. It'll prolong it and enhance them. All right, so this can be it's, unless you brew it like this, which I don't recommend. It's a little bit too expensive to brew it like this. But if you just brew it sort of the normal way, if you do it sort of the Gongfu style, it can be soft and subtle at times. But any questions about any of this stuff? As soon as this is done, I'm just going to put it for sale on the site. So it'll be for sale on the site in about, I don't know, whenever I finish this, I'll just go and do it. I wanted to try it first, and it's just good. It's stuff. It's the authentic, real Snow-Pick teas, and these teas, these style of teas, very rarely, if ever, make it off the island. They very, very rarely, if ever, make it off the island. They just don't leave Taiwan because they're so rare. It's usually one of those, like, the only way you can get one is if you know the farmer. Right? That's the only way you can get access to these teas. And and blah blah blah, yeah. A little bit tooting my own horn there, but still, it's the truth. These types of Snow-Pick teas are very, very hard to get. Well, it looks like this is just about done. Okay, there we go. Made a strange noise and then turned on for perhaps its last time. Looks like I might have to get myself a better pot. I've been using that one for years. I should get one with the temperature, with the temperature gauge on it and stuff like that. But I think that's it for now. Expensive for us, just another Monday brewing for Matt. Well, hey Amanda, how's it going? Well, I did. I mean, I literally spent $500. Well, actually, I haven't paid for it, but I will very shortly spend 500 US for, like, this much tea. And if this sells out fast, I'll buy some more. But it might be gone by then because it's produced in such small amounts. So it's expensive for me too, right? And I'm gambling. I'm literally a professional tea gambler. All right, that's how I view it. I got to hedge my risks. I got to hedge my bets. I am a professional tea gambler, and so it's still expensive for me too. But theoretically, I can make money off of it. Theoretically, I hope I can. With this one, I don't. Yeah, only $500. I think it'll be okay. I don't think I'll lose any money. And if not, then I'll just be stuck with a bunch of really expensive tea that I really enjoy to drink. Let's see what's coming up. Oh, if you want tea before the holiday starts, then you got to order this week. So the holiday starts, I guess, on Friday. I should probably put a post out there about it. So if you want tea before there's like a week and a half almost of a break, then you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it relatively soon. Order relatively soon. Everybody who has ordered already, your teas are sent out. So thank you for that. As always, thank you to everybody who is supporting us and all of that. And wow, look at that color. It's beautiful. I'm hoping you guys can see it. I'm hoping, yeah, you can see that, right? You can see that beautiful color. But yes, thank you everybody for supporting us. There's on the YouTube there's a couple more pictures of the snow. There's a picture of the garden there, and what it looked like. The weather was perfect in the high mountains. The weather was perfect. It got super cold. There was a dump of sort of snowy, frosty stuff. And then it warmed right up and the plants are like, okay, we got a window. And then they sent out some shoots. And then my Tea Master friends up there were able to create something special. But like I said, last year, the big old zero. So nothing. Do mayo. But this year we got it again. I should add teas to the site. Anyways, the point is, what's going on for the next couple of days? If you want tea, you got to order soon. Then hopefully I'll get some teas added in the next couple of days. And what else is there? Hopefully I'll get some teas added in the next couple of days. And then it's the holiday. I'm going to be working on creating a decentralized constitution for blockchain technology all holiday in my spare time for fun. But that's about it. So last call for questions about any of this stuff. I'm going to go and start packing up some of this tea, and I'm going to launch it on the website. Let's see. Yeah. I should have some time this week, so I'll do a couple more live streams, put out some more stuff. I'm working on a reel right now, so I got to, whoa, that didn't, let's see if I can do this. Okay. Oh, there we go. Back into focus. And so I went to I'm going to try and do a reel on how to make Hualien clay. So I was there and I got the clay and I dug out and, put the water and they were making clay so I could stick my hand right in there. And it's absolutely fascinating, right? It's absolutely fascinating how you can take dirt and then literally make something as beautiful as this out of the dirt with nothing added, right? Wood and dirt, that's it. Just fascinating. And I'm so happy that I can sort of share that. So I'm working on a reel. I'll do that. Last year was really warm. Hopefully 2023 will be colder. I think it will be. I think at the end of the month, this month, it's going to be quite chilly here in Taiwan. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold for this New Year's and afterwards. And my youngest, he's still pretty pissed because he's never seen snow. So as soon as there's a big snowfall up there, we'll drive up the mountain far enough so that he can see snow and see what cold weather's all about. He's pissed. He's been asking for a couple of years, and it's like I grew up in the snow, so the idea of me going up to see snow is not high on my list. It's not like I'm quite. There's a reason I live in Taiwan. I like the weather. So, well, a lot of reasons I live in Taiwan. But anyways, we will go up and see some snow. Random tangent. But yeah, that's about it. So wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, I certainly hope you have an absolutely spectacular afternoon, early morning, late night. I hope you sleep well, and I hope your day goes well. And in your classes as well. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.